Welcome to Real Sense Now, your number one podcast and radio show that airs on Florida Man Radio every Saturday at 11 a.m. Today we have a special guest, and as you know, our show is generally about all things real estate, wealth creation, health and wellness, and more importantly, our aim is to show you how we can assist you in 10xing your life. Yes, you heard it correctly. We want you to live the best life that you can. And we oftentimes have some incredible guests that their insights are transformative, educational, and more importantly, allow you the tools in order for you to achieve this yourself in practicality, not in theory. See, oftentimes we focus outwardly at the things that are missing in our life: a lack of money, our health not being in its optimal state. Maybe we're experiencing some mental health issues, not being happiness, or just a general lack of whatever that X factor is that's missing in your life. We'd all love to live our lives to the fullest, and oftentimes we either do not know how to go about doing it, nor do we have the tools and the skills in order to achieve that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you identify as any one of those people who are looking to make a major, I'm talking about a drastic change in your life, in whatever the area may be, you've come to the right place. Get ready to embark on a journey with a friend of mine whose journey of personal transformation, as well as being a true pioneer in the field of empowerment, has helped change a lot of people's lives. Welcome to the show, Michael Matucci.
Hey, great to be here and looking forward to lighting some people up today.
Audience, buckle up, get ready to discover some of the secrets Michael has to share with you. I've listened to him speak, I've engaged in many of their concepts, and I really wanted to come and bring this to share with you. We often talk about strategies in terms of creating wealth or leveraging whatever, real estate and so on and so forth. And a lot of the times I like to give this example of, if we look at our life, we look at our life as a result of this tree of life. And the results are oftentimes the fruit. We look at the fruit by saying not red enough, not sweet enough, not juicy enough, not rich enough. And that's what's missing in our life. And we always focus on the external factors in life, never paying attention to the foundation. Where do these fruits come from? Better roots bear better fruits. So in order to have a better life, we really need to dig inwards. And this is why I have you on the show, Michael. So thank you for being a guest. It's fantastic to have you with us. To kickstart, I just want you to tell us a little bit about your personal journey and what led you to co-create the Encompass Life.
Well, it has been a journey, that's for sure. That's the right word. For me, it actually started beyond my awareness when I was growing up and had a really tough time at school. We moved a bunch of times when I was a kid, and we got to one neighborhood, and it was rough. And the kids made fun of me and bullied me for years. And I didn't have the tools. I didn't have I came from these nice little areas. I didn't really know how to stand up for myself. A lot of it happened behind my back. I didn't really know what to do. And it was tough. I have a very open and strong sensitivity. And so it impacted me greatly. And unconsciously, after getting out of that space and going to college, and I kind of started making myself into a Superman.
How'd you do that? I
Is
want to
that
be a Superman. That's my favorite superhero.
It wasn't something I thought of at the beginning, but I realized I was doing that to avoid being made fun of. So what did I do first? I started living in different countries. So I've lived in 5 continents around the world, obviously. I speak many languages, and I would just do whatever was available. So I got the opportunity to study sociology, study language, study martial arts, study whatever came up, or meet with people and go down an amazing road of adventure, from diving with great white sharks to running with bulls to cycling on mountain bike across countries. I would just say yes. That's how you just say yes. Have a very, just be very okay with getting embarrassed. Just be okay with not looking your best. And so I would flub through whatever language I was learning. I would figure stuff out, make tons of mistakes, and I was okay with that.
It's always about failing forward, right?
That's it, man. That so many people get stuck in this fear of loss, fear of being embarrassed. Oh, somebody might see me, someone might do this. The reality is, on the other side of that fear, that's where the growth is. You're only going to find that out by stepping up. So I did time and time and time and time and time and time again. And until the point where I started realizing as well that I was here for something more. I was here for something more than gallivanting around the globe. And so I started tuning in. And that's when my spiritual journey took on a whole new course and led me down a long road of many other modalities and a deep inner journey that got me to see how much more there was inside of me.
Talking about an inner journey, or better yet, a quantum leap, which we
Mm,
all have heard about, all would want in our life, and of course, many times don't even know where to start. It's a technique that you guys have perfected in your modality, and I think it sounds really interesting. So, can you give us a brief overview of what it entails,
mhm.
and how is it different from conventional approaches to personal development?
Right. So the quantum leap technique is a term we came up with to categorize a variety of methods that we're using to both target exactly, find out exactly what's going on deep within us, and then transform limitation into something glorious. So it looks like we're just having conversation. So if someone will watch from the outside and say, well, that looks like a therapy or counseling session. But the reality is it's way different. One of the main differences is most other modalities are mental based. That's our whole education system. That's our programs and advice and consulting's mental. It's just it's intellectual, and we have a very intellectual society. The reality is the intellectual mind is very small in power compared to the other, or the intellectual body compared to the emotional body, compared to the subconscious mind, compared to the imagination, intuition. There's way more talents that we have going on. So whereas the rest of society goes outside in, information, advice, programs, repetition, we're starting inside out. We're going to the core level of you, the core being, who you really are, and lighting people up from that space. The second part that is really unique is that we're not doing it for people. They have to do it. It's kind of like Olympic training in consciousness. So in a physical training environment, you got to do the weights, you got to do the work, you got to do whatever it is. And no one's sitting on the couch and waiting for me to give you the answer. Each member, each man and woman has to come up with it on the inside. And as we take them on a longer period of time, they must eventually be able to go direct to creator, direct to source, to be able to get their answers, because that's where it's like the matrix of the first matrix, and she's on the ceiling or the rooftop, and she's like, there's a helicopter, I got to learn how to fly, I got to fly the helicopter. By the time she gets to the helicopter, she can fly it. We all have that ability, as wild as that sounds, but it will never come while we're waiting for someone else to give us the answer, or we think we don't know it, or we're not capable enough. We can connect to the all there is. We can connect through the quantum field and access our answers, access our skills, access our way forward when we build ourselves on the inside.
I
And
love
that's
it.
what we're doing with people.
So, what inspired you to focus on facilitating quantum leaps and, more importantly, empowering individuals to make transformative changes in their life? Because I know I welcome that change, and I look forward to those times where something big is around the corner because you're ready for it.
Yeah, it goes back to that original story. I didn't have a big brother, or big sister. My folks didn't know what to do. They just kind of let me flounder,
Mhm.
and that's not their fault. It's just they did the best they could, and I choose to be that big brother, that uncle, the guide, mentor for the years I didn't have one. And I take 15 years of personal transformation experience that also spans martial arts and dance and yoga and meditation and a lot of things, so that people can have that big brother advice. And also, they deserve to have the tool set. Like, we are given these amazing divine gifts, and most people just appreciate them because they don't know they're available. So it's to also be able to show people that they can do it themselves, and to cut through this reality of limitation and show people, look, you can access, you like to 10x your revenue, People are looking at every plan. I'm going to buy this consulting. I'm going to do this. We have people 10x in the revenue in sometimes as little as a couple weeks
Incredible.
because it starts on the
Sign me
inside.
up. Tell me where to sign.
Yeah, well,
Tell
that's
me where
it,
to sign.
man.
So listen, for a lot of people out there, they may be in search for a lot of things. And a lot of people may think a lot of whatever you're saying is a little wonky and a little out there.
No.
How do you navigate through resistance or skepticism from individuals who may be hesitant to embrace this concept of a quantum leap? Because I can tell you one thing, there is absolutely no resistance on my part. I'm ready to quantum leap to
No.
wherever I need to quantum leap to.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's do this.
You know, it's other than my job to get by the resistance. I used to try to fix people because I thought years ago when I did other types of work, because I'm like, you're going to suffer. I'm going to help you get out of this. You don't have to go through what I went through or what I've worked with other people. You don't have to do that. But now I recognize everybody has a choice. I reach my hand out and say, would you like to take this road together? If they say no, it's okay. It's okay. But people say yes, then let's do it. And then the resistance becomes what they're unconscious to. There's the unconscious resistance, like the trigger, you're not aware of it. You're having a great night with your lady, everything's great, all of a sudden something happens, someone says something, and boom, this flame comes up inside of you. What the heck is that? You weren't aware of it, but it's really present right now. It's an unconscious trigger. So become masterful of identifying what is truly inside of you and then being able to have the emotional intelligence to walk through that. That's what we're helping people build. And resistance is okay as long as you're willing to say, drop it. Okay, I'll go through the fire.
Okay, I don't like just theory. I like getting into practical stuff. I want to get my hands on it. I want to play with it. I want to experiment. So Michael, tell me, what are some of the common misconceptions people have about making transformative changes, and how does quantum leap technique actually address them?
A common misconception, it depends on who what the audience is. But let's say a more advanced audience, people have done personal development, they think they know it. And there's a lot of teachers out there, who tell you stuff that they learned in school and the programs and all that, but they don't embody it. The embodiment process is what matters. Can you actually live it, or are you just regurgitating it? So to be able to walk through that process of embodying true truth, integrity, empowerment, it takes work, like it takes reps in the gym. And the misconception is, I'm just going to learn it, get certified, let's go. No. With the quantum leap technique and Encompass Life, you must embody it. The only test, we have a school, we have an accreditation through university, you can get a master's, but there's no written exam. There's no records. The only test is how you look and what your world is, what's happening in your world, because your world is a reflection of you.
I love this. Last question before we have to wrap up the segment. Can you give me some practical exercises or techniques that our listeners can implement right away to start their own journey towards a quantum leap?
You may not like this, but it's so common and so easy, people don't even believe it. When it comes to choosing your path forward in life, it does come down to one principal choice: love or hate. Hate, not like hate, just hate speech. Hate is a broad, there's a lot of things go into hate: criticism, complaining, don't liking things, just like there is love. If you go down the list of your life, you make a list of all the things you don't like. If you don't like something, you hate it a little bit. Every little bit of hate inside your system is literally like a weight that is pulling you down. Make a list of everything you don't like. Find out why, and see if you can see it in a new way. What is it really serving you? Can you forgive it? Can you forgive someone else? Can you forgive yourself? Can you turn that into something that you have gratitude for? If you just do that, you'll be astounded how much can change.
I love it. Wow. There you have it. Fascinating insights with you, Michael. About the origins of Encompass Life, your unique approach to quantum leap. You're not going anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to delve even deeper into the principles and practices behind this transformative method. This is your host, Dawood Bedrosian, and you're listening to Real Sense Now. So hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because we're back with another exciting segment of Real Sense Now. We're about to dive into a world of limitless possibilities with our esteemed guest, Michael Matucci. He's a driving force behind the quantum leap theory in his empowered life program. We've been chatting during the break, and I have lots to learn from him. And I hope that this information that we impart with you is not only going to benefit your life, but transform it in a way that will 10x your life so that you can become a superhuman being as well too. So get ready for an electrifying discussion that will challenge your perceptions, awaken your inner potential, and leave you hungry for the transformation you've been looking for. So without further ado, Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, hey.
I want to talk about core principles in terms of your approach. When we talk about these concepts or theories, I think what's really important when people are looking for transformation is not just simply to talk about them, but in terms of how can you actually tangibly apply it in your life. So what initially drew you to this concept of quantum leaps, and how has it become a focal point in your work in terms of transformation?
Well, when we remember who we really are, even a lot of the spiritual teachers and people giving a lot of great messages on social media, they say not nice things, but they just live sort of normally. We are spiritual beings. We are quantum beings. We can expand and expand. You think someone listening, if you think you've experienced a lot of abundance or a lot of love, guess what? There is 10 times more available for you, 100 times more available for you, because that's who we really are. So I love quantum leaps because I like going fast and I like a large gain. Why would I be okay? People come to us and they're like, well, how's your relationship? Well, it's a 7. I'd like it to be an 8. I'd like it to be a 9. Boring. How about a 15 or a 25 or a 50 or a 500?
How about a
That's
thousand?
your potential. How about 1,000, right? You're that why settle? You're settling because you're comparing your life to what you've seen on TV or social media or your friends. What if you could have a life 100 times more interesting, 100 times more adventurous, 1,000 times more loving? So to be able to tap into that, and it's the ultimately for you isn't going to be hearing my advice. It's going to be you taking the journey. It's got to come from within because your journey is unique. So that's why we spark that inner core self and give you the ability to do that so you can far exceed anything that I'm doing. But it isn't going to be because I give you the information, it's because you tapped into your own potential.
Absolutely. I think what's really interesting is that people regard the past, the present, and the future in a conventional way, where the experiences from our past essentially define our present moment. And based on our present self, we're trying to create our future self. And that whole concept is, in my opinion, entirely flawed. Yes, you do have a collective experience that allows you to maybe become a little bit of who you are, but it doesn't define who you are at the essence or what you're really trying to create. In essence, your presence is nothing more than a reference point of how you think of yourself. And one thing that I've learned from your course is it allows you to really tap into who you really are versus who you think you are. And more importantly, I gathered that you can really create your future self by literally operating backwards. I want you to share with our audience some defining moments or experiences that not only solidified your belief in the power of quantum leaps, but how it's actually facilitated some profound transformation in other people's lives.
Well, that's 2 or 3 questions right there.
It's a lot of questions right there.
Having to answer. Let's see. So I'll use myself as an example. So quantum leap is I am working with my business partner who really mentored me in this work, and we're talking about relationship. And I was dating a lovely woman at the time, and it was a very tumultuous thing. And I was ready to walk. And he says, you've already done that before. Like, and I said, yeah, but she's done this, that, and the other. There's no future here. He's like, yeah, but you've done that before. And so I was like, you know what? Well, what else is there to do? What if I stayed? Oh, what if I stayed? And I started processing this, and literally I sat down, and I was living in this mountain cabin in Colorado at the time. And it was like 2 decades of relationships just came down, and this awareness opened up, and I said, oh my gosh, I have been walking out of relationships for this whole time. And the whole time I thought it was because of her, because she did this or didn't do that. And it wasn't going to be a match. And I realized I was the one acting out of limitation. Now, other than to say that there isn't a tango going on in every relationship, but everyone has their own responsibility. And when I realized my side of co-creating those circumstances, it was earth-shattering for me. And then in that moment, my ability to show up in a relationship probably was 100x. And that's not an exaggeration, because I suddenly everything shattered about what I thought relationship was about, and I suddenly saw the truth about who I was in relationship and how much more I could be in my divine masculine, in my powerful, courageous self. Be here, yes, for a woman, mostly for me. And suddenly my capacity to be in a relationship shot up so much. And my ability to then attract that type of partner shot up as well. And that's the type of quantum leaps you can take. It sounds like, oh, it sounds more wild if I suddenly am on the top of the Himalayas, or suddenly I went from 8 figures to 9 figures in my business or whatever. But the reality is the quantum leap is happening inside of you first, then can show up on the outside. People looking for the outside to be the answer. The answer's on the inside first, then it shows up on your outside, because the outside's a reflection of your inside. That's how the quantum universe works. And when you get that, then it's like, of course I'm going to work on myself. Why would I try to do all this outside stuff? But that's the way our society is. So stop looking on the outside, start looking on the inside, and massive changes can occur.
But we all dance this tango where a conflict exists within our inner world and our outer world. And unfortunately, our limited belief systems is what actually holds us back. It's really all about beliefs and mindsets. In your opinion, what role do beliefs and mindsets play in this process of achieving that kind of quantum leap that we all want in our life?
I would say the conflict isn't between inner and outer. Inner and outer are a reflection of one another. The conflict is between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. You think you know everything that's going on because you're thinking about it in your conscious mind. The reality is most things are happening in your subconscious mind. All of the beliefs and codes and programs that you picked up during your life, especially early years, that are running like apps in the background of your computer, your phone, in order so that you can focus on the app presently in front of you. You couldn't possibly have all that stuff in your awareness. You would be so distracted, right? Meanwhile, these background apps are necessary for you to be able to live your life. But guess what? Same thing with your regular life. And they're always acting. So until you come into awareness of what's now unconscious, it will continue to run your life. So with the work that we do, we utilize and show people how to access their subconscious belief systems and codes and things that they can later rewrite through a variety of assessment tools, using words, using the body, using the eyes, and then be able to, using feelings and other things, to be able to identify exactly what's holding you back. And then more than other modalities to say, let's release it, let's let it go. Oh, no. Then if you let go a dog that you've been feeding for 10 years, what's going to happen?
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's coming right back, right? They're like, oh, I let it go. I already did that. No, guess what? It has to be fully alchemized for it to have served its purpose in your life. It's meant to be here to help you on your life path. So getting first awareness of the unconscious pattern that's limiting you, first, that you're not thinking about. It comes through situations in your life, things are going on in your body, things happening with your work. This is where the limitations are exhibited. Be able to pinpoint that and then shift it to its opposite. Then it becomes something glorious, and that's when the quantum leap occurs.
You know, in the video that I watched, you guys talk about how once you address the issue from its core, it will manifest itself in other parts of your life immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So you no longer are worried about, for example, a bad relationship, not having enough, for example, money, or your business is not thriving, etc. And maybe you're dealing with, for example, a concept of, let's say, resentment. Tell me how in your program or modality you're actually able to tackle so many external things that we see as a problem or a limitation in our life by really addressing it from the core? And how do you identify what that core is?
hmm So, for example, let's say we'll go with your resentment. If you're holding some resentment around your dad, okay, or your father figure in your life, and you aren't thinking about that right now, but let's say you're resentful for the way that that he ran the house, right, or that he didn't give you what you needed as a young man growing up. He wasn't there. You think it's gone out of your awareness, but it's actually still running in the background. And so let's say that manifested and he didn't show you, so he didn't help you, so you're going to show him. I mean, there's so many people, high performers, athletes, executives, entrepreneurs who are doing it because I'm going to show up my dad. But they'll say like, I'm going to show up the competition. I'm going to show up. Ultimately, it's this inner competition with self and trying to I'll show you I can do it. Right. So what happens is that it can work for a little while. So you get some success, but the reality is you're working off of that resentment, and inevitably it's going to wear the body down. And when it comes to the body, we translate the situations happening in the body, and oftentimes resentment will show up in deep body injuries. So if you've got tendon injury, a bone injury, deep stuff
That's
is
fascinating.
is showing up is going to be usually resentment, which is anger that's been you're holding on to for a long time. So it's going to limit your body, it's going to limit your business, it's going to limit your performance, it'll give you a temporary boost, but then over time it'll wear you down. And so how can you possibly show up in your full potential in business or your full potential for your kids if you've got this thing humming underneath, taking your energy, dragging down your performance? It's going to, therefore, if that's dragging down one area of your life, it has to drag down other areas of your life. So to answer your question, we find exactly what it is through our assessment techniques and talking. We go back and forth with some questions. We tap it. Usually what happens is the person doesn't know that's really going on. And then suddenly tears start flowing. They don't even know why, because they touched the truth. And then we're going to shift that into something glorious together. And then now that that thing's gone and you're no longer revving the engine, then it can open up all pathways of life simultaneously and exponentially.
Incredible. Michael, thank you for your valuable insights into these core principles of quantum leap technique. I definitely want to quantum leap into so many different areas of my life. Thank you for shedding your light on this transformative power of being present, being clear, and having that emotional intelligence to really make a difference for the people that you love, that you would want to impact in your life. What's the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
Well, come on over to our website. I got a special little training for you guys in PDF. If you go to encompasslife.com/breakthrough, that's encompasslife.com/breakthrough. You can both grab this Secret Success Killers document. That's really profound. It helps you find those hidden things and shift them around. And if you choose to book a call, have a little virtual coffee with me and see how this might be able to work for you, for your company, for your family, I'd be delighted to chat.
And if you have a question for me and if you'd want to connect, you can always visit my website at realsensenow.com, or better yet, just catch me on any one of my social media platforms. That's LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram by just simply typing in my name, Dawood Bedrosian. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay tuned because we are going to be revealing more captivating revelations right here with Michael Matucci. Welcome, listeners, into the realm where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, where limitations dissolve, and where quantum leaps await you. I'm joined by none other than Michael Matucci, a visionary leader in the helm of Encompass Life, and he's here to prepare us with some keys to transcend the boundaries that many of us have put up in our life and help us make a monumental shift in our consciousness, in our life, and essentially to 10x your life in any which way you seek to be fit. Michael, I want to address the issue that we were talking about in our previous segment, which is at a fundamental level, it seems that your quantum leap technique can really address a lot of the core issues that stop us from being superhuman. Excellent. How do you guide individuals to work at this core level, and what kind of results have you witnessed?
Oh boy. Well, the way that we do it is unique. It's we only work in very small groups. It's like taking a group up the Himalayas. We act as Sherpas, and they got to walk. And slowly, we'll carry the way at the beginning, and slowly give them more, and then ask them to participate, ask them to show us the way. And so the accountability rises, but everybody participates. Is very much experiential, and also asking them to do again more and more of finding their own answers. So in a very short amount of time, people can heal their bodies, relationships, and money. So I'll give you some examples of some recent health shifts people have had. There was a woman who came in with us. She was years struggling with a gallbladder issue. The doctor said, "We're going to have to operate on this." She panicked. She found us. Within 6 weeks, she went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, "What did you do? Your gallbladder's fine. No problem here." We had a man whose cognitive decline was so steep that he couldn't read, buckle his belt, and or write his name. 2 months later, he was writing his name, reading books on brain trauma, and dressing himself. And then a couple months later, after some more work, he's actually dancing and has the best. He has a relationship with his daughter that he hasn't had in 10 years because they haven't been able to communicate. We've had people come in within a week and get 1/4 to 1/2 of their yearly revenue goal from sales within a week or even a couple days. Even some people have literally 5x, 10x within a matter of weeks. We had a woman who was stuck at how many 8 figures for 8 years. Within a year, she was at 9, and a couple years later, 2, 3 years later, now she's at 10 figures. All from inner work. We didn't talk about health. We didn't talk about the business strategy. We did the inner work. That's how powerful you are, not me. I'll guide you. It's up to you, and you can make these shifts. People literally in one session, they haven't talked to their daughter in 10. This woman hadn't talked to her daughter in 10 years. She had canceled her and did some forgiveness in the session, saw the truth about it. While the session was going on, her phone was off. Her daughter had texted her, said, I'm so sorry. I miss you. Can we meet? I love you. Just from doing the inner work inside. Everybody's that powerful, and I love to bring that possibility to others.
Listen, I really want to try this on right now. So let's take on a real life example. You can use me as your guinea pig. I'm ready to 10x a lot of different areas of my life. I'm ready to tap into the core of whatever the issue is and 10x it, because that 8-figure, 9-figure sounds fantastic to me already. But if we can even do better than that, we can. And it doesn't have to be in finances. It could be in any area. So go.
Well,
No pressure here.
5-minute segment. We usually take people on journeys
Okay.
to prepare you, because it's a different way that we talk, it's a different way that we do things, and it takes some. I have gotten people; they've gotten themselves miracles in 5-10 minutes, but it isn't an under the clock sort of thing. It's what can you shift? But I'll give you a little bit of a tool here. So your language. You understand your language is important, right?
100%.
So we have a lot of talk about that, but people are constantly speaking limitation over themselves. Constantly. They don't recognize or do it. So you said the word want before, right? So you say you want to 10x. Let's say you want more money, right? So now I invite you, if you're listening, to do this.
I think everybody that's listening is going to want this. So
I do this.
Thank you for sharing
if you're
this.
do it, and do it out loud if you can. It's better than doing it inside, because you feel the power of your words. So you can actually feel the words that you're saying. This is the key. Is the feeling is this amazing detection mechanism that we're other than aware of, because our mind is racing around. So repeat after me, and then feel it inside of your body, and then I'll ask how you're feeling.
I'm ready.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Say, okay, I need money.
I need money.
I want money.
I want money.
I claim money.
I claim money.
I empower myself to have money.
I empower myself to have money.
I have money.
I have money.
I love to have money.
I love to have and having money.
So what did you feel inside your body?
I started to feel the shift from what was lacking to this present self or abundance of actually being in the space of doing that.
Right? So the word want means to desire without ever having. Need is like from needy, it's like compulsion. And whenever people are saying that, you're actually distancing yourself from what you'd like to have. You think, well, it doesn't matter, just a word. You just felt it. You felt the difference. You are a feeling machine. You don't notice because the brain is very busy. But what you're doing is each time you're saying, I want this, I want that, I need this, you're literally adding these weights inside of you. You're putting a gap between what you would like to have and where you are actually. So when you start claiming it, that's the truth. The truth is you have access in the quantum field to infinite abundance. So a very small thing is begin to claim what it is that you choose. Empower yourself to have what it is that you have, or just say, I have it, because the reality is, you talked about the past, present, and future. In a future moment, you already have it. So just claim it as if you have it. And you will rewire your subconscious and the field to begin to auto-select for the scenarios, answers, people, and situations that will align you with what you're claiming right now. Your words are immensely important, but not just when you're doing a prayer or when you're criticizing somebody, all the time. And this is an amazing co-creative machine that you inhabit. And when you remember that and begin to take this journey of caring and only speaking life, only life all the time, then you will begin to align yourself with where you choose to go.
I think what I heard from you that really helped make a shift in the way I look at things. My favorite quote, by the way, is Wayne Dyer: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Is that when you actually have a strong feeling about whatever it is that you're feeling about, it often shifts your thinking patterns. It shifts the way that you think about it. And I think it's very important to be able to resonate with that feeling, because your eyes don't know the difference whether they're open or closed, or sorry, your mind doesn't know the difference if your eyes are open or closed. And what I mean by that is I felt that. And I felt the difference of lack to abundance felt like. And I can only imagine what it would be like to tap into things that may not be in optimal peak uh, conditioning, whether it's health. Like, for example, I heard that one of the things that you guys managed to tackle was people that had allergies. By the end of the session, they were done with their allergies. I don't know how language or conversation is going to help that, but I'm telling you right now, sign me up, because I'm done taking all of these allergy meds.
Yes. Yeah, it isn't so much a direct formula. Each man, woman is distinct, so it's a matter of working together to find out what it is and then helping together transform it. That's where you're going to be independent. So you'll be able to have this system inside of yourself, and you'll be able to solve your own issues. Then you'll be able to take it to your world. So we have a lot of people come to us who are healthcare providers, coaches, managers, people, or moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas who have little ones and younger ones who are their responsibility. You have the ability to imbue this upon them, help them become their own problem solvers and their own guides in life. And that, for me, is the ultimate empowerment. Everyone deserves that. It's cool to have people to help. That's what we're here for. We're here to speed this process up, make it fun, make it interactive. Ultimately, though, everyone gets the chance to see how powerful they are and to go direct. And we just want to walk you through the process and make it streamlined and enable you to do it while you're actually doing the rest of your life. Like an executive MBA from Harvard, but this one's in consciousness. And you could do your whole life, but actually apply your current day situation and utilize it to then grow in all the ways you choose.
Michael, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of wisdom or encouragement, what would it be?
There are many. I would say one that's on my heart now is always speak the truth. You have no idea how often you're lying. Every time you exaggerate, you're lying. If you're being a drama queen, drama king, you're lying. If you say, oh, this always happens, or you don't tell the truth, you are lies of omission, The truth is the divine vibration. Anytime you're lying, exaggerating, holding back, placating, politically correct, doing all these little things, you are actually assaulting yourself. You're criticizing, or you're going against your true divine nature. And that doesn't mean you got to go out there and be a truther and tell everyone the world this is how it should be. I mean, just act in truth. Tell the truth, say what you mean what you say, live up to your word. It's astounding how much we shade around the edges. If you just say, I'm a man of truth, I'm a woman of truth, I only act in the big divine capital T truth, you will be very surprised how different that is. And if you do that, you will, they measured the energy coming off of bodies. And people assumed love would be the most powerful frequency. But when people spoke authentically, means truth, the vibration they measured was substantially higher than any other emotion that they measured, all the ones that you would expect. So be authentic.
I
Stop
love it.
playing small. Play your big, truthful self.
You know what? That was the greatest gift that you could give our audience. Thank you for sharing a glimpse into your methodology in drastic transformation with your program, Encompassed Life. Please visit Encompass Life to learn more about Michael and his program, where you can really highlight the importance of this experiential learning, self empowerment. Of course, keep listening to Real Sense Now as we explore some practical strategies for personal transformation, as well as help you excel in your life, whether it's to create greater health, greater wealth, or just simply happiness in your life. It's your host, Dawood Bedrosian. Thank you for listening to Real Sense Now.